Guys, John Silva may just be the corniest UFC fighter I've ever seen in my life. What's up, guys? UFC 324 press conference reaction. We're just going to get straight into it. And I'm just going to start off by saying these press conferences are so ass. No one is showing any personality in these. No one's really showing out, being themselves. And the only dude who is, because I know he's doing it himself, I know he's being himself, is John Silva. And it's so embarrassing to watch because he's the corniest guy I've ever seen. Like, just to start off, I'm sure this will go viral on TikTok, but because the UFC loves him for some reason. All hail Netanyahu. But there was a moment where John Silva did his barking thing. He goes, "What is up, Las Vegas?" And like waiting for he waited a moment for people to bark back, and no one barked. Not a soul barked back at him. So we sat there in silence as he just stared off, waiting for people to bark. And there were some people barking before he did it, but it was just so painful to listen to after, just a dead silence. And then he comes out and they ask him, "John, what's more dangerous? A John Silva who's talking a lot of trash and being very aggressive, or a calmer John Silva?" And he said, "Fuck John. You're going to see Lord." What do you mean? What do you mean? Who is Lord? The singer? Because I know you're not talking about yourself. What are we doing? You cannot call yourself Lord, bro. This is the corniest shit I've ever seen. This is so embarrassing. I hate being a fan of this because I have to sit here and watch the press conference because I'm sitting on my buddy's couch watching it on my phone with volume on, and he's looking over and he just sees, "Call me Lord. Star Lord." He didn't actually say that, but that's how it felt. It was like a Marvel movie fucking comic beat drop. It was terrible. Gene Silva's so corny, and it makes me so mad. And then he inserted himself into UFC 325, saying, "If I win, I'll be ready next week." Or his translator said it. We'll get into that. Let's get into translators. Dude, the translators at these events are so bummy. Like, how is it? Here's the thing. Some of these guys, yeah, there's a language barrier. I've seen Song Yadong do an hour-long interview with Mighty Mouse, and he did good. He was funny. He had good moments. I understood what he was saying. Let the guy talk. I don't get it. Let him talk. He has funny moments. There was a moment in the Mighty Mouse thing where he says he beats the shit out of Uriah Faber and he's getting hyped and DJ's getting hyped. And it's a good bit. It's a good interview. And then you see him here and he's exclusively speaking Chinese. And then his translator's translating it. And then his translator also has an accent. So you also can't really understand his translator. So there's like no point in any of this going on. It's so confusing. I don't get it. We have this guy who can drop some decent lines, but it's not happening. And then also we have Arnold Allen, his autistic ass is on the end of the thing, end of the bench. And they ask John Silva a question in Spanish. It gets translated out loud, and then John Silva speaks in Spanish, and then it gets translated again. So it gets translated 4 times, and then Arnold Allen just goes, "Yeah, I don't really know what's going on." Dude, what are we doing? Why are the translators cooking this event? Why does something need to be translated 4 times? You know, let some of these guys speak English. Let some of these guys get some like moments, okay? GSP didn't have the greatest English, neither did Anderson Silva, but these guys learned how to speak and they learned how to, give us some good moments. Let the guys talk. We let them fight each other for a living. Let them talk. All right. Next thing. Oh, one of the funniest bits from this was someone asked Justin Gaethje about his comments on fighter pay. They asked him about his comments about all of his bonuses not adding up to $1 million. And, he gets asked that. You can immediately tell that Dana is staring him down. Dana is staring him down, and Justin immediately goes, "I'm only here to talk about fights." Now that Big Boss Man's in front of you, you don't want to say this? What are we doing? Keep that same energy up, dog. Big Boss Man's here. Tell him your problems. Don't go to the media for this. And then also in regards to fighter pay, someone was asking about bonuses. Someone was like, "Oh, Dana, is there gonna be a special bonus for the first Paramount card since we have Paramount money now?" And he's like, I don't know the number yet." Derek Lewis broke ass is like, dude, he's like the homie in the corner at the party who is not paying for food. He goes, "Yo, get wings." He's in the corner yelling, "Hey, 324, 324, 324K." And Dana just does not respond. Dana did not say shit to that. Dana's not trying to give out a third of a milli to Derek Lewis, bro. It was so funny just to see him literally insert himself like the broke homie and then get no response, just like we do in real life. Yo ass is not getting wings. Yo ass is not getting 300K. So very funny to watch. All of the moments from this press conference that were funny were unintentional and were not meant to be done on purpose. And I think that makes these press conferences so much better. And then honestly, the main event, Gaethje was super quiet, very quiet, very like Arnold Allen was too. Both of those guys were like on the opposite ends where both of their matchups got asked so many questions. John Silva got pitched like a million questions, his annoying ass. And then Patty got a bunch of them. Patty was handling himself pretty well. He said fuck Armin a bunch of times. That was pretty impressive. That was pretty good. I didn't expect him to say that, but you know, I don't know. It was just so weird to see Gaethje and Arnold Allen just be quiet when there's so much going on the other side. And then there was still absolutely no shit talking between, Gaethje and Patty, which is fine, but it just doesn't sell this main event as well as it probably should be because that's kind of the reason we're all tuning in Saturday. Okay. Now it's time. Now it's time for the part where we go over some of the shittiest questions that were asked at this press conference. So number 1, this was to Arnold Allen. He was asked by some absolute bummy looking dude, "Arnold Allen, who would you most want to eat a meal with after weigh-ins?" Are we joking? Why are we talking about this? This was like one of the only things Arnold Allen was asked, and then all of his other questions were about him and John Silva having autism. So this was like painful to see. I'm like, oh, they finally didn't mention the word autism. Okay, they're talking about how Arnold Allen likes to sit there in the cuck chair and watch his teammates eat food. Who would you want to eat food with? Terrible question. Yeah. And then just so many questions about John Silva and Arnold Allen having autism. And I made the joke in my prediction video. I said, two different types of autism. I thought John Silva's autism was going to win. But it's just the media people are so unfunny when they say it. And maybe it was John Silva himself bringing it up. That would explain it. Or maybe it was like the Spanish translation. I just don't know the word for autism. But it just kept coming up, and it was so painful. And then the one of the worst questions was to Derek Lewis in response to Waldo saying he was going to hit the salsa if he knocked out Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis dropped the quote, "Man, I'll take my pants off and do the salsa." Bro, I don't care. Please ask better questions. It's like these questions, these stupid questions that people are like, "Oh, dude, this is gonna bang, bro. This is gonna go crazy." It's like when you drop a joke on the 2-man and both the girls just look at each other, bro. You're cooked. But then all the other questions like, what would it mean to get a win on Saturday? What would it mean to not lose? Would you be happy if you won, or would you be sad if you lost? What are these questions? Why get new media people? I say we allow one YouTuber spot per press conference. One of these guys that are actually going to ask good questions. And then finally, actually, one more thing on John Silva. I now want to change my pick, and because I think Arnold Allen is going to win this fight. Because right after John Silva barked, Arnold Allen just looked over and goes, "Bark if you're gay," and it was the best line he dropped all night. It was like the only funny thing he said all night, and it was a banger. It was awesome. And then obviously, final thing, Dana had to hit his mandatory. What was the question? What'd you say? To anything he didn't want to answer, anything he was uncomfortable with, to try and get the media members to rephrase it. I think the biggest one was about Armin's press tour, or about rankings. It was about rankings not meaning anything. I just remembered that. They asked him, since, the fourth and fifth ranked lightweights got the title shot, if rankings mean anything. He just goes, "What? I don't know what the hell you're talking about." Just terrible. Yeah, overall, this press conference, pretty boring. I think Natalia Silva and Rose Namajunas got asked like one question combined. It was pretty lame. Obviously, I didn't want to see them up there. I'm actually kind of glad we didn't get Figgy and Umar on the main card, because it just would have been two more translators that we'd have had to deal with, and translators really killed this thing. And then Sean O'Malley really didn't do anything this entire press conference. So, yeah, that's basically it for this. But yeah, that's everything that happened at UFC 324 press conference. John Silva is gay and he barks still. And Arnold Allen's going to knock him out now. So, yeah, I love y'all. I'm so excited to make a video on everything that happens. I'll have that out Sunday morning. I'm very excited for that. I'll see y'all then. Peace out. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment so I know that you enjoy the videos. I'll see y'all next time.